Today we're talking about something that scares a lot of people, but honestly shouldn't: investing your money when you have absolutely zero experience. Look, I get it. The stock market can seem like this mysterious beast that only Wall Street experts understand. But here's the truth: anyone can learn to invest, and you don't need an economics degree to build wealth. Did you know that according to a recent survey, nearly 48% of Americans don't invest in the stock market at all? That's almost half the country missing out on one of the most powerful ways to build wealth. And the number one reason people give: they don't know how to get started. Well, that changes today. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear step-by-step roadmap to start investing, even if you've never bought a single stock in your life. We'll break everything down into simple, actionable steps that anyone can follow. So if you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss our latest tips on building wealth and securing your financial future. Step 1. Understand why you should invest. Before we get into the how, let's talk about why investing matters so much. Here's a shocking truth: your money sitting in a regular savings account is actually losing value over time due to inflation. That's right. Playing it safe by keeping all your money in cash is actually a risky move for your long-term financial health. Think of it this way: inflation has historically averaged around 2 to 3% per year. If your savings account only gives you 0.5% interest, your purchasing power is actually decreasing by about 2% every single year. That doesn't sound like much, but over decades, it's devastating to your wealth. The legendary investor Warren Buffett once said, "If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die." Pretty blunt, right? But he's spot on. Investing allows your money to work for you instead of you always working for money. And here's the magic ingredient that makes investing so powerful: compound interest. Einstein reportedly called it the eighth wonder of the world, saying, "He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." Let me show you what this means with a simple example. If you invest $200 monthly with an average 7% annual return, which is conservative for the stock market's historical performance, after 30 years, you'd have around $243,000, and only $72,000 of that would be money you put in. The rest, a whopping $171,000, would be purely from investment growth. That's the power of letting your money work for you over time. Step 2. Get your financial house in order first. Now I know you're eager to start investing, but hold up. Before you put a single dollar into the market, you need to make sure your financial foundation is solid. Think of it like building a house. You don't start with the roof, you start with a strong foundation. Here's your quick financial checklist before investing. First, build an emergency fund. Aim for 3 to 6 months of essential expenses saved in a high-yield savings account. This is your financial safety net that prevents you from having to sell investments at a bad time if something unexpected happens. Second, tackle high-interest debt. If you're carrying credit card debt with 15 to 20% interest rates, paying that off is actually a better investment than anything else you could do with that money. Why? Because eliminating a 20% interest payment is the same as earning a guaranteed 20% return, and no legitimate investment can promise that. Third, make sure you understand your current monthly cash flow. You need to know exactly how much money is coming in and going out each month, and how much you can realistically set aside for investing without straining your budget. As financial advisor Suze Orman puts it, a big part of financial freedom is having your heart and mind free from worry about the what-ifs of life. Your emergency fund and debt management plan give you that freedom. Step 3. Set clear investment goals. All right, now that your financial foundation is solid, it's time to figure out why you're investing. Different goals require different approaches. Are you investing for retirement 30 plus years away? Or saving for a house down payment in 5 years? Maybe you're building a college fund for your kids that you'll need in 10, 15 years. Each of these goals requires a different strategy. For long-term goals like retirement, 20 plus years away, you can afford to take more risk for potentially higher returns, since you have time to recover from market downturns. For medium-term goals, 5, 10 years, you'll want a more balanced approach. And for short-term goals, less than 5 years, you'll need to be much more conservative. Write down your specific goals with target amounts and timelines. For example, save $50,000 for a house down payment by 2030 inches, or build a $1.5 million retirement fund by 2055. Having specific measurable goals helps you stay focused and choose the right investments. As Peter Lynch, one of the most successful fund managers ever, said, "Know what you own and know why you own it." Your investment goals give you the why that will guide all your decisions. Step 4. Understand the basic investment options. Now let's talk about the actual investments you can choose from. Don't worry, we're keeping this super simple and focusing on the options that make the most sense for beginners. The main types of investments most beginners should know about are stocks. When you buy a stock, you're buying a small piece of ownership in a company. If the company does well, your stock generally increases in value, and sometimes the company pays you dividends, a share of their profits. Stocks have historically provided the highest returns over long periods, but they can be quite volatile in the short term. Bonds. These are essentially loans you make to a company or government. They promise to pay you back with interest after a certain period. Bonds are generally less volatile than stocks, but offer lower returns. They're the stabilizing force in your investment portfolio. Index funds. This is where it gets really good for beginners. Instead of trying to pick individual stocks, which is challenging even for professionals, index funds let you buy tiny pieces of hundreds or thousands of companies in one simple transaction. They're designed to match the performance of a specific market index, like the S&P 500, which tracks 500 of America's largest companies. As Warren Buffett advised in his will for his wife's inheritance, put 10% of the cash in short-term government bonds and 90% in a very low-cost S&P 500 index fund. If that approach is good enough for Warren Buffett's family, it's probably a solid starting point for most beginners. ETFs, exchange-traded funds. These are similar to index funds, but trade on the stock exchange like individual stocks. They offer the diversification benefits of index funds with some additional flexibility. The beauty of index funds and ETFs is that they instantly diversify your investments across many companies, reducing your risk. They also typically have low fees, which is crucial because fees can seriously eat into your returns over time. Step 5. Choose the right account type. Now that you know what you want to invest in, you need to decide where to hold those investments. The account type you choose matters because it affects how your investments are taxed. For most beginners, these are the main account types to consider. Retirement accounts. These include 401(k), often offered by employers, and individual retirement accounts, IRAs. They come with tax advantages that help your investments grow faster, but there are restrictions on when you can withdraw the money without penalties, typically before age 59 and a half. If your employer offers a 401(k) match, where they contribute additional money when you invest in your 401(k), always take advantage of this first. It's literally free money. For IRAs, you have two main options. Traditional IRA. Your contributions may be tax deductible now, but you'll pay taxes when you withdraw money in retirement. Roth IRA. You pay taxes on contributions now, but withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. Taxable brokerage accounts. These don't have special tax advantages, but they offer complete flexibility. You can withdraw your money anytime without penalties, making them ideal for goals other than retirement, or for investing after you've maxed out your tax-advantaged accounts. The account types you choose should align with your goals. Retirement accounts for retirement, obviously, and taxable accounts for more flexible goals, or additional investing beyond retirement account limits. Step 6. Choose a broker and open your account. It's time to actually open your investment account. To do this, you'll need to choose a broker, the company that will execute your investment trades and hold your assets. For beginners in 2025, I recommend looking for brokers with no account minimums or monthly fees, commission-free trades for stocks and ETFs, a user-friendly app or website, good educational resources, reliable customer service. Some of the most beginner-friendly brokers include: opening an account usually takes just 10-15 minutes online. You'll need your social security number, a form of ID, driver's license or passport, your bank account information to transfer funds, basic personal information. The process is similar to opening a bank account. Just go to the broker's website, click Open an Account, select the type of account you want, like IRA or individual brokerage, and follow the prompts. Step 7. Make your first investment. This is it, the moment you've been waiting for. Let's walk through exactly how to make your first investment. First, transfer money from your bank account to your brokerage account. Most brokers make this easy with an ACH transfer that takes 3 business days. For your very first investment, I suggest keeping it simple with a broad market index fund or ETF. These instantly diversify your money across hundreds or thousands of companies, which is perfect for beginners. Some great starter options include Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and Vanguard. To buy, simply log into your brokerage account. Search for the fund you want by its ticker symbol. Click Buy or Trade. Enter the amount you want to invest. Review and confirm your order. Congratulations! You're now officially an investor. But don't just make a one-time investment. Set up automatic regular investments, even if it's just $50 or $100 per month. Consistent investing over time is the real secret to building wealth. Step 8. Create your long-term investment strategy. Now that you've made your first investment, let's talk strategy for the long run. For most beginners, a simple but effective approach is the 3-fund portfolio. This involves investing in just 3 types of index funds: a total U.S. stock market fund, an international stock fund, a bond fund. How you divide your money between these depends on your risk tolerance and time horizon. A common starting point is the 120 minus your age rule for stock allocation. So if you're 30 years old, you might put about 90%, 120, 30 in stocks, and 10% in bonds. Then within the stock portion, a typical split is 70% US stocks and 30% international. As you get more comfortable with investing, you can adjust this allocation, but this simple 3-fund approach has outperformed many complex strategies managed by professionals. Remember what Jack Bogle, founder of Vanguard and pioneer of index investing, said: "Don't look for the needle in the haystack, just buy the haystack." Index funds are your haystack. Simple, low cost, and effective. Step 9. Monitor, but don't obsess over, your investments. Here's a critical tip that might surprise you. Once you've set up your investment strategy, the best thing you can do is mostly leave it alone. Seriously, one of the biggest mistakes new investors make is checking their investments too frequently and making emotional decisions based on short-term market movements. The stock market will go up and down, sometimes dramatically. But history shows that it tends to go up over long periods. If you panic and sell when the market drops, you lock in your losses and miss the eventual recovery. Instead, check your investments quarterly or semi-annually. Rebalance your portfolio once a year to maintain your target allocation. Increase your contribution amount whenever you get a raise. Stay focused on your long-term goals, not daily market news. As Warren Buffett famously advised, the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Be patient. Step 10. Continue your financial education. The last step isn't really a step at all. It's an ongoing process. Investing is a lifelong journey, and continuing to learn will help you refine your strategy over time. As you learn more, you might decide to adjust your strategy or explore more advanced approaches. That's great. Just remember that simplicity is often better than complexity, especially for newer investors. Conclusion. And there you have it, your complete roadmap to start investing with zero experience. Let's quickly recap the steps. Understand why you should invest. Get your financial house in order. Set clear investment goals. Understand basic investment options. Choose the right account type. Open an account with a broker. Make your first investment. Create your long-term strategy. Monitor, but don't obsess. Continue your financial education. Remember, investing isn't about getting rich quick or timing the market perfectly. It's about consistently putting your money to work over time and letting compound growth do its magic. Every financial expert agrees on one thing. The best time to start investing was years ago, and the second best time is today. So take that first step, even if it's small. Future you will be incredibly grateful that present you took action. If you found this guide helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone else who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more straightforward financial advice that actually makes sense. Leave a comment below with any questions you have or topics you'd like us to cover in future videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.